I had an affair with my boss's girlfriend. I worked as a member of the support staff at a law firm. When I am not working, my greatest hobby is filmmaking. I signed up for a local filmmaking course and met this girl Audrey. We worked together on a project and got to know each other. Turns out we liked a lot of the same things and both came from pretty toxic backgrounds. What struck me as interesting was that she seemed to have a lot of time on her hands. She told me she worked part-time and showed me her apartment, which she says her parents pay for. We started talking a lot more and hanging out after class. We had each other's numbers and would text each other occasionally. A couple months into our friendship, she started confessing that she just got out of a really controlling relationship with a boyfriend. She told me he was a workaholic who was controlling, cheated on her, and hurt her sexually. That he pretends to let her speak her mind but then gaslights her and tells her not to argue with him. She vaguely gave me a fake first name of the guy but says they're not together but that he just sends her mean messages. She starts texting me all the time saying she's lonely or about one of her insecurities or whether her parents and ex were right about her. I also shared a lot of my deeper hopes and stuff like that. I finally get to the point where I ask if she wanted to go out on a date. She says she's not ready to date again and I accepted that. However, she confesses she has really strong feelings for me. The next time we see each other she asks if she can kiss me and we kissed. I thought I found a girl I could see myself being with and was willing to wait for. Couple weeks later we ended up having a sort of date when we watched movies together. Soon after that she texts that she thinks she loves me and I was surprised but said I'll be there for her. I went to sleep over her house for a couple days and I wake up one morning to her caller ID, so I answer. I hear a long silence on the other line and then the person asks in a slightly familiar voice if this was my first name, my last name. He says this is John Smith and I pay for this phone. I clicked right away as I recognized the name and the voice. I started flipping the f*** out. Out of every dude in the world it happened to be my boss. This whole time I've been hooking up with my boss's girlfriend. What the f*** is going on? This guy John Smith is one of the partners at the law firm. One of the youngest promoted ones the firm has thus far, but by far one of the more power-tripping, micromanaging ones. The girl I thought was single showed up at my door and asked that I forgive her. She said everything she said about the boyfriend was true. That she moved out of his apartment because she felt suffocated, but that she continued dating him and he paid for her apartment and other bills. She said she confessed that she had feelings for me and he said he's about to leave her with nothing. I called her selfish, sadistic, a slut, and said I hated her and never wanted to see her again. I broke down and cried after she left. I start minding my own business thinking things are gonna back to way it used to be, being alone, and I'm not gonna mess with my boss's girlfriend anymore. Nothing can go wrong, right? Everything's done? I thought wrong. I go into work Monday morning and the other partners who I was doing work for were particularly sadistic towards me. One guy caught my eye, sighed, laughed, and shook his head. John Smith's buddies. At the end of the day I get called in for a meeting. John Smith was there, a member of HR was there, and the managing partner was there. Basically I knew what was going to happen and I was escorted out by security. They really made me work the whole day then fire me instead of firing me on the spot. F them. John Smith took special joy in reminding me that they're probably not going to be a good reference for future employers. I did not get severance and my coworkers and former superiors got a front row seat as I was escorted out. I instantly decided to pick up my phone and texted the girl a few nasty thoughts for one last time before blocking her phone number. I also might have wrote a few bad Glassdoor reviews or two. This showdown happened in November of last year. My head spinning, I tried applying for paralegal jobs because that's what I went to school to do. I sent out resumes to every paralegal position I could find. I was straight up rejected without an interview, even from very low tier firms paying half of what I'd gotten at my other firm. I fell into anxiety and depression. I got evicted from my apartment and moved in with a friend in an apartment building with communal bathrooms that were always filthy and a persistent termite problem. I've been picking myself back up slowly. I eventually got a job as a receptionist at a community health clinic and another job as a bagger at a grocery store. I guess I've moved on, but I'm posting this because a while who one of my former coworkers quit and reconnected with me. When we caught up, she told me he showed up to the firm's Founders Day party in February right before lockdowns with his new fiancée, Audrey. I honestly don't care what either of them do anymore. I had an emotional and partly physical affair with a girl who ended up being my boss's girlfriend. I lost my job as a paralegal because I had pissed off a partner and ended up not being able to get another job in the legal industry where I live. Ruined my self-esteem and credit in the process, but now bagged groceries. Meanwhile, boss and his girlfriend are now engaged.